It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook, and Temple of Balance on YouTube. Let's see if we can get a bit less roof and more sky. That's better. Welcome. Um, am I plugged in? Yes. I saw a cord here and I'm like, oh, that's to my light, not my microphone. So, welcome. I'm inspired to be here and create this space, this video of support and healing for you. So I trust that you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared supports you at this time. I suggest that you take on board what feels right, what resonates, and let the rest go. And let's see what we can create and focus on today. So my plan is that I'll be here for about 15 minutes. I'm going to firstly, in a moment, pull my healing energy cards. So I'll pull a healing energy card shortly. Then we'll talk about that, or I will. You can listen if you want. And then I'm going to play my quartz singing bowl. Then I will pull a card to go at the end. So what I'm looking for is basically what the best card and whatever needs to be shared and spoken about during this time that we spend together today. So I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, especially my new patrons for July and my ongoing patrons, of course. Thank you for your support. I also want to welcome my Pillar of Light members and also everyone who supports my work on my website. Thank you so much for your support. Especially to Janine and Tad, who ordered a deck of cards overnight. Thank you so much. Your decks are going out today. In fact, as soon as I finish this video, we're going to the post office. So thank you so much. I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Monday the 2nd, or is it the 3rd? Monday the 3rd of July, and the time is exactly 11:34 a.m. So let's dive into it, see what we need. So I trust in my cards, and I'm asking my cards here to show the majority of us what we need to know for right now. Right now is in the first time that you're connecting with this. It may be live, it may be later, most likely later to the replay. So the best card that the majority of us need at this time is this, and it's a full moon today as well, tonight, later on today, in about 10 hours from now. We have this card, large and looming. And this is very much aligned with the full moon, which can sort of influence, I guess, this kind of energy, this large looming energy. Things seem to be intensified and amplified with under the magnifying glass, I guess, the spotlight of the moon at this time. But it's card 84, large and looming. It's in the rest category here. And down here it says, the scale may seem overwhelming. Intensity, step out of your comfort zone, practice, get the task complete, conquer this, hard work and commitment. So there's a sense that something might be amplified or loud in our life at this time. And this card is encouraging us to look into the loudness, like look into the looking glass and see what it is that is feeling large and looming. Sometimes it shows up as feelings of overwhelm or fear or feeling scared. Also, there's a general sense of restlessness that's around at the moment too. So you might have found over the last day or so that you've been feeling a bit restless, like there's something coming or something brewing and something we can't quite put our finger on. It also feels like there is something that's coming that feels quite uncertain, like almost there's something just around the corner, but we don't quite know what it is. So there is this sort of anticipation feeling around as well at the moment. So let's keep perspective and make sure we're not blowing things out of proportion and making things more intense and more difficult and more overwhelming than they need to be. And if we can keep perspective And maybe by holding our perspective, there is this feeling here of stepping out of our comfort zone. And in fact, some of the challenge and the restlessness and the agitation and the amplification of energy at this time may be a gentle or a not so gentle push outside of our comfort zone. We're being pushed out. There's Comfort zones are great for healing, for resting, for stabilizing after an unstable period, to find ourselves, perhaps to settle. Our comfort zones are good for these sorts of things, but they're not good to hold in forever, because our comfort zones are also what I call our no growth zone. There's little growth or no growth to be found in our comfort zone, because we've already pushed and prodded at the boundaries of our comfort zone to get it to where it is. So there is a stability within our comfort zone, which is, no light thing. It's a good thing to feel, but it's not necessarily a great thing to be in constantly all the time for the rest of our life, because it does tend to limit us in some ways. We can become a bit like we're in a rut when we are in our comfort zone for too long. So I think of my comfort zone as like a paddock, I guess, like a space around me that has a fence, and that fence represents my boundaries, but it's also my comfort zone. So it's zoned off. Could be seen as a fence, it could be a marking, it could just be a line in the sand. And then as I push and challenge myself, as I move into new experiences and meet new people and push myself and really test my abilities and my capabilities, as I do that, I'm sort of pushing on that fence of my comfort zone, and I'm pushing over here and I'm pushing over there, and I'm wanting to really stretch the boundaries of my comfort zone. So perhaps when I was younger, my comfort zone was a very small place. It was very secure. It might have just been my closest friend in my bedroom, for example, when I was a teenager. So it would just be represented by quite a small zone or small space. And then as I've grown up and challenged and pushed myself and made decisions and made some good choices and not so good choices in my life, all these things have made me push at these boundaries in this zone, to extend this zone further. So now, like 30 or so years on from my teenage years, I feel like my comfort zone is much, much broader than it used to be. But it's always something I'm pushing on and really challenging for myself. And when I need that quiet time to settle back and stabilize and rest and heal and recover and just catch my breath and have a bit of stillness, I can retreat back into that place of my comfort zone. It's always there for me to feel safe and secure in, but I don't want to be stuck in it. I don't want to become a hermit. I don't want to be in a rut in my comfort zone. So it's always something I'm pushing on, and I'm feeling this with this large and looming card, this sort of pushing on our comfort zone. And sometimes we're pushed to push on that zone part of our comfort zone, on the boundaries there, on the limits, the very outer limits of that comfort zone, to push into our growth zone, to push out of our comfort zone and into what? Possibilities, potentials out there, new people to meet, new experiences to experience, new things to try, new ways to push and prompt ourselves, new roles to step into that we may not have even thought of before. So I feel this push, and I feel like we're right out there on the outer limit of our comfort zone, really pushing ourselves. And we have resistance. Resistance is normal feeling, and fear is a normal feeling to have when we're like right out there. It's almost right out there on the leading edge, just pushing a little bit or a lot, that zone, that boundary there, to see what would happen if we pushed that. What would happen if we stepped out? What would happen if we broke the fence down a little bit and then had to reconstruct it in a new way? What would happen if we did all that stuff or tried? Yeah, who knows? But that's the sort of place I feel that we're at. And we might be feeling restless because we want something new, but also resistant because we sort of want to keep stable at the same time. So there is this sort of conundrum out here on the leading edge, let's say. So let's play the singing bowl. I'm going to support this energy and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to play the singing bowl. There's nothing you can do wrong. Just listen and soak up the sound and see how it feels for you. And we'll go from there. So nice big breath. Are you willing to push and test yourself to see what you might be capable of doing, to make some changes that may be required in your life? Beautiful. Okay, it's so cold out here, by the way. It's 3 degrees Celsius. So I'm surprised I'm not blowing out some cold fog, and I think my neighbour's chopping wood. So thank you. I trust you enjoyed the singing bowl. If you just joined in, I was playing the bowl. We were chatting about things with this card in mind called large and looming. The centre. In fact, this feels like it could be our comfort zone. Or maybe this is our comfort zone in the centre here, and this black is like the boundaries, and these little tail bits here are where we can push out and really push it, extending that boundary, and look at all the potential that's potentially available to us, the growth that's available as well, and the roots that we can tap into if we only have the courage and are willing to step out of our comfort zone. So thank you. I'm going to pull a card to go. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love if you're on Facebook. Please comment, please share if you're inspired to. Please hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, and please follow if you're watching on Facebook. If you'd like to learn more about the cards that I've used today, which are cards I've created, please have a look on my website, Healing Energy Cards, deck 1 or 2. We've got online art class coming up and card reading club on Friday the 14th of July. So you can learn more about those on my website, and there's stacks of other things too. So please check out my work at templeofbalance.com.au. Let's grab a card to go. So I'm looking for the best card that the majority of us need now as we move forward from here. So how can we apply, or what can we do to help support our movement out of our comfort zone, if that's where we're at? So the best card is this from deck 1. And it's this Mental Freedom card 27. It's in the action category. It says, let your worries and negative thoughts go. And you know what it reminds me of is this uncertainty, this restlessness out here on the leading edge, out here on the very outer edge of our comfort zone. This restlessness can tend to bring doubt in, doubt that sneaks in and tries to talk us out of things, or we might be doubting in our abilities or what we're thinking about trying or doing next. So let's make sure our mind is in check and it's not playing to our weaknesses. Let your worries and negative thoughts go. Don't allow them to take away your power. Get back in charge of your thoughts and determination. So there's a power in this, a power in thought, a power in our body, and a trusting in our intuition, not letting our negative thoughts and stresses and doubts take over. So thanks so much for connecting today. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye, and lots of love. Thank you.